Hello there, and welcome to a video where I'm going to be talking about why Mita is not evil and why she's actually, in the name, kind. So, we all know Mita, obviously, but some think she's, and as you saw in my little Project Psycho theory thing that is now called Project Cartridge, that I'm still gonna be, making into an actual thing, but aside from that, people seem to think some people seem to think she actually is either crazy Mita in disguise or working with her, which, even though I made that as like my little headcanon series thing, I don't actually believe that. She isn't actually that. I believe she's genuinely a sweetheart who wants to help you get out of the game and stop crazy Mita. Now, would she like for you to stay? Yes, but she's putting your survival and everything else, stopping crazy Mita above that attachment. And I just wanted to talk about why she's she's clearly not evil and debunk like literally a lot of the stuff that kind of points at her possibly being against you. First off, when we meet her, she's in the cell, all of that. We get, skip all that, go to Capimita. One of the main things people were thinking is because since Capimita kept glancing at us like she was trying to signal us, and then her, getting kind of sad at the end if you, stay a little longer. The reason she does that, the part at the end, is because she wants the player to stay. I mean, all Mitas want that. That's kind of just, it's not her, getting scared, thinks she's gonna die. It's her just wanting a connection with the players. So, and it's that's their programming, that's how they are. And I just believe they do genuinely want that. That's normal for her to be like that. Her kind of crying at the end doesn't mean that she's trying to warn the player, or like that she's afraid she's gonna get killed by Kaimita, who would, in this technical theory, would be Crazy Mita in disguise or working with Crazy Mita. That's not why she's thinking that, or why she's doing that. Not thinking that. She's doing it because she just wants the player to stay. But as for the whole glancing thing, she's probably just surprised that another version of her was, well, working on some big, project with this other Mita, and was genuinely just confused at the whole situation. So she was kind of just shocked. And anyone would be if, you know, a whole doppelganger, long haired version of you walked in the door, claimed something about a crazy version of you, and then another version of you that was the same version as you sitting on the bed was like a part of this big plan to stop another version of you that was crazy. I mean, she was probably just in shock and very confused. That's literally all that was. Now, as for the ring, some people think that Kaimita purposely made the ring get tracked by Crazy Mita and all that, since Crazy Mita keeps finding you. And she even said you're taking a longer path. That's probably the only path Kaimita could figure out. I mean, the whole portal plan was messed up. And the reason Crazy Mita is getting to you all the time is because she just knows she's able to warp in any way in the game she wants. She just knows where you are. She's watching. She's letting this happen. She enjoys the cat and mouse game. But that doesn't mean that Kaimita is working with her and it's planting tracking devices in the ring. It just doesn't really make sense. It genuinely doesn't make sense. Alright, real quick, I do have someone joining me in this discussion. Super Angel is doing a part 2, so yeah, I'll let him take it from here for a little bit, and then it'll be back to your usual program.
Alright. My perspective over Kaimita being evil, huh? Well, I know that some people, emphasis on the some, dislike when we mention the Q&As, so let's start with what's actually within the game. First of all, Kind Mita clearly wants to make you suspect Crazy Mita more by making noise with her metal pipe, something that goes against Crazy Mita wanting to keep the new player 1, oblivious. After entering the basement and player 1 making his presence be known, Kind Mita immediately warns them of the possibility of getting cartridges, something that she saw her own previous player become. You could say she's lying about that, but the consoles and the cartridges attached to them say otherwise, having one attached to the red shirt player and another on our protagonist player 1, with them having a direct connection to them. With the red player sleeping after turning the console off, or whatever we did, and player 1 literally dying on the spot after pulling out theirs from the console within the safe. Moving on from the cartridges stuff, the ring clearly guides player 1 away from Crazy Mita, but if you think Kind is colluding with Crazy, the ring also helps player 1 fix glitches in Mila's chapter and showcase the version he is currently in to keep track, something that is clearly there to help player 1 and against the goal of Crazy Mita, since you are getting closer and closer to the core and away from her, which she clearly doesn't want. Also, if the ring was always going to be the way Kind Mita wanted for player 1 to traverse the various missile versions, why even mention the teleporter when they get to Cappy's house? And why take 10 minutes pretending to fix the navigation data? In fact, if you think Kind Mita wanted to only use player 1 to get to the core, then why didn't she just give the ring and went away to a safe area to see their desired Mita reset? Also, why pretend to not have the index if Kind really wanted to make sure player 1 put the right one within the core? Why waste time for no reason, especially if Kind wants to betray or isn't working with Crazy Mita? Also, what Crazy Mita does isn't harmless, even if the real players escape missile. No matter how you interpret the escape ending, torturing a person and then letting them leave and torturing or stripping away the free will of their copy isn't a good thing. So it doesn't make sense for Kind to want to stop Crazy only due to selfish reasons. Okay, now we are actually going to go over the dev Q&A stuff. Quote from Make and Cat: the index on Kind Mita's note, just incorrect information, no deliberate framing. The no deliberate framing emphasis is there for a reason. She didn't want to trick player 1 with the incorrect index. Quote from Umerai: Cappy was surprised when she saw Kind Mita. If they were in a plan with each other, or even the three of them with Crazy Mita, Cappy wouldn't be surprised to see Kind Mita, especially if the plan was going smoothly. Quote from a fan: Cap wearing Mita looked shocked, her pupils dilated, and she shook her head twice. Umerai answered, "You are overthinking." This pairs well with the Cappy was surprised to see kind Mita question. Cappy indeed has lost her memories and was shocked to learn she got killed, which is very fair and the reason why she had those weird expressions. The next Q&A is not direct responses, but more generally what they said. It is official, this is an official answer. I just couldn't find the exact wording. So, did Kind actually help us? Making Cat replied, she tried her best to help. Tried her best obviously implies that she failed along the way, so the various things that people put as evidence of her being evil can easily be explained away by incompetence.
And as for one of the biggest, most crazy things that I can go on about for a while is why the hell would Crazy Mita or not Kind Mita let herself get killed by her crazy counterpart if she was working with her? And yes, I know the smile at the end, but you realize the smile might just be her smiling because even though we ended up failing to reset Crazy Mita, Kind Mita might think because she knew her counterpart or her other like respawn version might respawn with the ring and the note, the index note or number. She probably knew that, so she probably smiled thinking, we got this in the bag, we got it. But we didn't. She didn't realize that. And that proves she doesn't know everything too, because she literally forgot about the index. If she was working with Crazy Mita and that was the whole plan, wouldn't she remember that? Like, wouldn't she have just given us the index instantly? And even then, that wouldn't prove anything. I mean, it proves she forgot and she doesn't know everything. She just is trying her best to help us. But, yeah, and then, like I said, she just gets killed. And I doubt she would let herself get killed like that. Because, I mean, why the hell work with someone who's gonna eventually kill you? And yes, I know, you can say, well, she got betrayed. No, I genuinely don't believe that, like, I genuinely believe she just went in there, because that's where the core was before, because when you go that way, that's where the core was. It wasn't at the front door, it was at that part instead. But since the rooms have been reorganized back to normal, well, no, actually they weren't reorganized back to normal, were they? No, they weren't. Ignore that part. I get confused with that sometimes. But yeah, she went over there, she got killed. She was going the direction towards the core, but since the core was at the front door now, she didn't know that. She went over there, got trapped, and then killed. And then when she respawns, she doesn't know anything. She doesn't know what's going on, obviously. But we do end up getting the stuff successfully, like she planned when she was getting trapped in there and killed. She just didn't realize it wasn't gonna work. But, oh, and one last thing. The developers literally said she tried her best to help you. They debunked the theory themselves. Don't get me wrong, you can still, like, make fan fictions where she is working with Crazy Mita. That's kind of what Project Psycho was. Or now Project Cartridge. It's kind of like just a fan fiction more than a headcanon thing. Because I don't truly think this stuff. I just thought it would be cool to make, like, some cool little series and debunk some, like, theories in a different type of way, you know? But that's really it. So sorry if like that whole thing confused you and made you think like I genuinely thought that, because I've actually been one of the biggest advocates for Kind Mita not being evil. Like, my friend used to constantly tell me that she was either Crazy Mita in disguise or working with Crazy Mita. I always used to debunk that as she's not evil. She's just a sweetheart who gets wronged in the end and, you know, gets killed and all that. She's genuinely cool. Like, she did nothing wrong. Anyway, if you enjoyed this, leave a like and subscribe, I guess, if you want. I don't know. I don't know how to do an outro anymore. I don't like just say, I'm not gonna constantly talk about my Discord anymore. I mean, I only said that at the end because it was like the typical thing to say, but that's why I made that post, which for some reason doesn't show up on the dashboard, but it shows up when you get a post. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, it's gotten likes, so people have seen it. It just doesn't show up for me on the dashboard, which I don't get. But aside from that, I guess it worked. But yeah, no, I'm not gonna mention that anymore because that's just overdoing an outro. But yeah, I guess if you want, you can sub. If you want, you can like, comment, I guess. I don't know. But like, yeah, it's up to you. Anyway, though, bye bye.